Alright, here we go. Chapter 20. Air masses. Air masses and weather is 20.1. 20.2 is fronts and lows. 20.3 thunderstorms and tornadoes. 20.4 hurricanes and winter storms. And 20.5 forecasting weather. Anytime I start a section, please make sure you have the vocabulary already listed in your lab notebooks. This is very important because I'm going to bring up some of these terms, and if you have no idea what that term is, it could cause some frustration or some misunderstanding. So please make sure that you have your vocabulary prior to watching this video. If you don't, pause it, record it, and come back to the video. Now, 20.1 air masses and weather, we have two objectives. Identify factors that determine the characteristics of an air mass, and the second is compare and contrast different types of air masses. So the big thing here, I'm going to ask you a few questions along the way. How do air masses affect weather? That's one of the main concepts. Key ideas. An air mass is a large body of air that has similar characteristics throughout. Guess what those characteristics that we're going to deal with in this section and in this chapter are? That's right, temperature and humidity. The temperature and humidity of an air mass depends on where the air mass originates. So, the study and process that governs Earth's atmosphere is called meteorology. That's not the study of the things that fly into our atmosphere and show and do the meteor showers and all that stuff. Okay, meteorology is the study of Earth's atmosphere and what happens in it and all the processes that take place. Now, scientists classify an air mass based on whether it originates. There are three different places: Arctic, Polar, and Tropical. Okay, Arctic would be very cold, Polar would be cold, Tropical would be warm or hot. And then we look at the humidity. So the first three are temperature, the next two are humidity. What do you think the humidity is like if that air mass forms over land or a continental? That's right, it's dry. How about sea, maritime? Right on, it'd be wet or moist. So if you look at a map, we're just looking at what influences the United States, kind of North America. And we're going to first start out with MP, stands for Maritime Polar. I'm going to break these down individually later on, but I just want to show you a diagram showing you where these originate. So this would be cool and moist. We have CA, Continental Arctic, very cold and dry. CP stands for Continental Polar, cold and dry. MP, Maritime Polar, cool and moist. Then we have Continental Tropical, hot and dry, CT. MT is Maritime Tropical, warm and moist. And then we have another one on the other side. Notice how the first letter is lowercase. That's how you'll see it on weather maps. That C is land, so it's going to be dry. Each one with the C is dry. The M is maritime. All those are moist. Notice how the A, the P, and the T. A, very cold. P stands for polar, that's cold. T for tropical, that would be warm or hot. So let's break these down. Continental Arctic. Originate in extremely cold and dry Arctic regions. Causes extreme cold waves. We've seen these in the news quite often. Continental Polar. They originate over inland regions of, that's right, Alaska and Canada. Slightly warmer and more moist than CA. Causes possible precipitation over large bodies of water as well as sunny cold winter days. Now, Maritime Polar, MP, originates over oceans and high latitudes. Don't get the high latitudes mixed up with elevation. High latitudes mean we're looking at about 60 degrees north latitude in this case if you're looking at this diagram. Now, when the dew point is reached, it causes fog, clouds, and precipitation as well as heavy snowstorms. Maritime Tropical, MT, originates over tropical oceans and are warm and moist. This brings heat and humidity to the Midwest and eastern United States with thunderstorms. A lot of times these are misconstrued for monsoon seasons. Monsoons, again, are in Asia. When we talk about this movement of air masses, the Maritime Tropical, a lot of people call them monsoons, but they're technically not, but that's okay. Continental Tropical, CT, originate over deserts and are hot and dry. They cause tremendous heat waves, droughts for possibly decades. Now, scientists classify air masses based on where it originates. We talked about that before. So answer this question. Remember, any question that I ever present to you, please pause, try your best. It's kind of like a little, do I get this? It's a little checkup, a way to see your understanding. It is a sweltering day in Alabama. and the humidity is high. What air mass is likely affecting the state? Pause it, check it out, use this map. If you answered MT, that's Maritime Tropical, it'd be warm and moist, you're right on. If you didn't, if you're still having trouble, stop the video, raise your hand, teacher will come and help you. The question, how might the weather change if CP air moved into the region and why? Now both temperature and humidity would decrease. Then you add the why. What do you think? That's right, because continental means the air becomes drier, so the humidity would decrease. And then the P that stands for polar, that means it's cold, so it would be colder. So that's a cold, dry air mass coming into whatever region that you were in. Now, would snowfall in the Sierra Nevada mountain range be heaviest on the eastern or western slopes? This is where we got to look into leeward and windward and bring that back from the last part of the unit. If you said western, you're right on. That MP air from the North Pacific Ocean would move in towards the Sierra Nevadas. They reach the mountains, released its moisture as it rose over the western slope. The air would be much drier as it descended down the eastern slope. That's called the leeward side of the mountain. And it'd be really dry and not much vegetation on that side. If you ever visit there, you can see one side of the Sierra Nevadas, like the California, Oregon, all those states over there. If you go up into the mountains, lush green forests and everything. Then you come on the other side and you look at Montana, Colorado, Utah, you look at the mountains over there, they're a lot more dry, a lot less vegetation. Okay, next video will be 20.2. I'll see you then.